show. I'm down here. Come down here.
Best thing I ever did. Oh, now I'm gonna be sorry, I'm all tipsy.
Throw some money. You don't want it? Don't do it. There you go.
Unconventionality, newness, novelty. Tom Preston, the creator of MTV, was quoted saying, "Innovation is taking two things that exist and putting them together in a new way." Birthed from separate ideas and paired together as if they belonged all along. This is at the very essence of everything desirable. It breeds copycats and lookalikes. And before you know it, it appears to have always been there. Like, how did I even live without this before? Just a common way of life. Creators and caretakers like Tom presented a new way for us to absorb art. Thinking outside the box to build a career around one idea. Doing one thing 1,000 times before it felt natural. In this episode, I sit with a friend who has spent his life thinking outside the box for the sake of music. Nick Hensley has stayed the path with producing the exact same results to become the one musician synonymous with the Minneapolis music scene who's created the best songwriters showcase. Detroit, Chicago, Kansas, Minnesota all claim Nick as a resident. Musician, producer, mentor, whiskey drinker. I introduce you to Nick Hensley.
I came to college from, you were right about Detroit, but I ended up in Chicago. Came up to college to Minnesota in the mid-90s. And at the time I had started a band with my best friend, Mike Ruiz, and it was called The District. District was a band that was booked out of the Fine Line in the mid-90s, and it was we were all college kid age, so, and then we kind of kept trying to make it work, because after soon enough when you're in college, those kind of bands, they fade because your fan base fades, and whatever's left, if you still want to do music, you just keep morphing it into something. But eventually I changed that to love songs, because I was the co-writer and didn't write many of those songs. Mike Reeves wrote most of those songs, so I changed it into my own thing later. Well, at least the music part of it. Yeah.
Okay.
To love songs. I don't know what else I'm leaving out.
So from you went to Chicago and started the District, and then came up to...
I'm just saying I'm originally from Detroit in '84, the year the Tigers won the World Series.
Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego, scene of Game 1 of the 1984 World Series, and Morrison won the first game in the playoffs.
We moved to Chicago as a family. I'm an only child.
Okay.
With my family, and then I ended up here in the '90s to go to college.
Okay, fantastic. So you graduated high school in Chicago.
Correct.
That was so that really, you grew up in Chicago.
Yep, I had formative years until I was 18, came up here for college. So from '84 until I was 18, yep.
Fantastic. And the District was birthed from college life.
Yep,
it was your best friend.
It was weird. For some reason, I just, on a whim, after my first year at college, moved to Lawrence, Kansas, and that's where we started the District. There was a lot of music venues in that town, the Jazz House, Bottleneck, all that stuff, and that's where we started. Then I came back to school after that summer, and he ended up moving up here, and we started the band up here. That was probably started as a duo or trio down there and morphed into a full band up here.
were you guys doing kind of just the Minnesota original venue circuit, or were you guys actually touring outside of Minnesota and doing festival work?
We were gone almost every weekend, but nothing super cool, but back to Kansas a lot because we had that connection up through Omaha and sometimes Chicago because I had that connection. But really small clubs, no bigger than 100 to 150 capacity, running our own sound most of the time. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
A couple festivals here and there, rib fests here and there. There's always rib fests everywhere.
Right.
Which is awesome because I like ribs and I like fests.
Yeah.
So, that's...
On this show is that I can't handle my spice, but I'd like to say that I can handle spice.
Oh, even the buffalo, huh?
Well, and I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it's the running joke. Everybody thinks that because I say, "Oh, it's got a little kick to it," and they'll be like, "That doesn't have a kick to it at all."
There's no kick at all.
What do you like? I have a kick if it's pepper, like just a black pepper on there.
You sound like my wife. It's okay.
Great. Don't you patronize me.
No, that wasn't it. He could have sounded like anybody. It just happened to be my wife. Actually, that buffalo's got a little.
Does it got a little kick to it?
Something to it.
Is it a Minnesota kick?
Yeah. Should I dive right in?
Yeah.
All right. It's really good.
Is it spicy?
No, I was waiting for you. I wanted to see you lose it.
So the chicken is not like a. I think you used the word the best. It's like a pate. So the chicken is. It's not like chunked chicken, which I'm not a blue cheese fan, but this blue cheese really works.
It was good. I
With
can't
it.
tell if it's gorgonzola or blue cheese. I can never tell.
I think it's blue cheese.
Is it?
Is that blue cheese? Yeah, that is blue cheese.
Spicy wildfire blue cheese.
Spicy wildfire.
Oh, so even the blue cheese is spicy.
And it's from that's sourced from Minnesota as well, right?
That's from Ellsworth Co-op Creamery.
Ellsworth.
All the
So
cheese
it's
that they use is from Ellsworth.
Ellsworth Co-op cheese.
That one with that.
You know, I haven't tried the. This is a little cucumber on there.
the veggies.
Yeah, because. Oh, it's celery?
Yeah.
This is celery.
Shaved celery. So basically like a play on buffalo wings.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of a broken down, a deconstructed version.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good word.
Using food words.
Foodie words, deconstructed.
Throughout your career, you've had ups and downs. You've had changeovers. You've had moments where you've questioned, hey, is this really the direction I should be going as a human? Tell me about the biggest moment you had that made you
Question
whether or not you should continue. Tell me about your worst entrepreneurial musical moment.
Joe Carey and I used to talk about this, and it actually happened. The epitome of it happened. It's just, you've been playing sports bars for years, like on and off. It's just one of the things.
Right, competing with the TVs.
Competing with the TVs, and the idea of somebody scores a touchdown because it's behind you. It's always behind you or to the side. Or you're hopefully not watching the TV while you're playing. But I've caught myself doing that. Salisbury always talks about that. He's like
watching TV.
Yeah, because he's in Basin watching TV. And he doesn't even like sports. But something happened, and I can't remember, but it was a pretty big college game, and it was, it's perfectly timed at the end of the song, crowd erupts. I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
thank you.
That's a good
caught so, it just caught me so, it was timed so perfectly where I'm like, wow, you guys are really into this. Thanks. Wow, thank you so much for,
Right.
and nope, not for me. Applause, not for me, for the thing right behind me. So that's embarrassing. And that's one of I still play bars with TVs all the time, but that's one of the things that I'm like, all right, TV is going to come off at least behind me.
Right.
Certain rules I have now because of that, but that was a very, what's it called? Humility.
Yeah.
Just a
where you get off
humbling experience
and you
is
go,
what that was.
gosh, do I want to keep playing at sports bars?
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
this gonna keep going on?
or ever.
Right.
Yeah, so.
This is the kale salad. It's the toasted almond, radish, feta cheese, apple, sorghum vinaigrette, and apple beet jam. I love me some kale. This is gonna be a good. You like salads?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Say you love
Surprisingly, yes.
I love kale. I love kale. This is the 21st Amendment. So the beer that we got here is the 21st Amendment Blood Orange beer. IPA.
Excited about this one. No, that's smart. You got this down.
Right?
Pro. It's all pro. I'm gonna mess this up.
So this is the first salad that we've had on the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is the first salad. Normally the
I'm a
dishes
big
that come
fan. I'm a big fan of salads.
I mean, I'll be honest with you.
Even without bacon.
I don't seek a salad. I'm not a seeker of the salad. I'm usually a seeker of the meat. You know? But for some reason, kale keeps popping in my life, and it just keeps coming up.
It's gonna keep us alive, supposedly.
When was your aha moment to become a musician?
I sang all my life in different, like a magicals group. I never did musical because I think I'm a terrible dancer, and I think a lot of people can vouch for that.
That really wasn't dancing going on there.
What would you call that then?
I don't know what I would call that.
I never did musicals, but I did ensembles and groups all my life. But I think the one that struck the chord that's closest to what I do now is best friend and I, Teddy Antrim, in high school, did a variety show, like a talent contest at the end of the year. And that high school made it a big deal, and we won a few times, and it was fun. That just always carried with me. It was a rush to write an original song, play it in front of everybody, just pour your heart out there, and then have it be appreciated. That was a big rush.
And so you kind of got hooked at that point.
Oh,
That was when you realized that the music is more of a drug, and you got
hooked specifically in that genre of music, because I came up to Minnesota to do classical music. So
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people know that.
No.
You came to Minnesota from Chicago to do classical
to do
music.
operatic kind of thing.
Operatic?
Yeah. I know.
Can you
it's
still
pretty
do it?
raspy. Oh yeah. Not well. not professionally like people do it now. I mean, you have to do that every day. There's breathing techniques. There's all sorts of things behind that, specifically that I didn't know till I got to college, about juries and performance and how much work it really is, and then learning Italian and learning all sorts of different languages. So.
I mean, forgive my ignorance, but you wanted to be an opera singer.
Well, honestly, it's what you did at the time where your parents would respect it and be like, all right, go after it and try it, because it wasn't rock and roll.
That was college.
It was college, and it was a specific classes,
Yeah.
and it was something that you were going to do, and it was.
That's amazing.
I was going to end up trying to do music towards music business. I just didn't know. I just knew I wanted to be in music. I didn't know specifically.
It was absolutely delicious and fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's really good.
I did like it.
These are never my bag, but I like this one.
One of those beers, we have one in the can.
What do they call these? Sours? Or,
It's an IPA, because of the blood orange.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not a sour.
This isn't like a fresh squeezed or whatever they call it.
Gotcha.
So this is one of their 100, 200 cans or whatever.
Well, yeah,
it is.
130. This is the Clown Shoes Galactica Double P IPA. It's one of their 150 cans of beer. But we're gonna.
It's got great artwork.
I like the green. I don't mind the green. Are you a double IPA fan?
Sure.
Yeah. Anything double with it?
Yeah, absolutely.
A double whiskey.
Double whiskey for sure. To be honest, I'm just starting to get into different. I know it's been around. It's all the rage. I've always been a whiskey drinker and a crappy
Yes.
beer drinker, but these beers are I'm starting to remember what I like.
Look at that. Look at that color.
Should I still go?
That's a super deep orange color, kind of fraught, foggy, which is like very
Cheers.
IPA. So we have the hamburger here. That cheddar cheese is put on the grill, fried, melted, flipped onto the burger. When the burger's from Ellsworth? Sorry, the burger's from
Awesome.
Peterson.
It's from Peterson Farms. The cheddar is from
Ellsworth. So
This is called the Big Cheeseburger.
this is called the Big Cheeseburger, and what's great about this, even these potato chips are made scratch.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So let's dive in. Here,
Why wouldn't it be?
that's my speed. Wow.
So you always do this and the crew just hangs out and they watch you eat?
Yeah, I get lunch after.
Perfect. Oh, that's good.
So there's palindromes all over this place. Pat's Tap is a palindrome. So spell it forwards and backwards.
Yeah.
And I was told to look around. You can see palindromes all over the place.
Oh, that's gonna drive me crazy.
Right,
Good way.
where is it at?
Well, the red ducks is what's freaking me out.
Let's get into the lightning round. What was holding you back from becoming a full-time musician?
It's just the fear of not being able to make enough money to live.
So this is a bourbon cocktail. It's called the French Belle. So cheers, pal. Touch that table. There it is.
Yep.
So tell me, what's the best piece of advice you've been given?
I always thought, and I don't remember, I wish I could credit this to somebody specific, but I think it's just come from so many different people. No gig is too big or too small. Don't turn out your nose up at anything, because you never know what's going to come of it, whether it be a private party or a wedding or a relationship that you didn't think you'd have before musically. You don't turn your nose up at any gig until you do it once, and if you get disrespected or if you don't like it, fine.
Right.
But always try everything.
Give it a one time.
Everything once.
I love that piece of advice. It's very much like what your mother said to you when you were growing up. Just try it, because if you don't like it, you don't ever have to do it again. Right?
Yeah.
I agree with that. So many times have I taken a gig that I thought I was worth more,
Right.
and then I was disappointed in the pay, but it turned out to be a great opportunity that turned into several in a row. And then you go, okay, wait a minute. You know, like I was upset with myself for taking it in the first place, right? Because I'm better than that.
Yeah.
But that's just an internal thing. And then you get down the road and you're like, God, I'm really glad that I did that.
I think that's part of the struggle. Yeah, it's like the
Get
loaves,
over yourself.
The Jesus and the loaves.
Yeah.
I'd rather take a bunch of them. I've always said, even when we have residencies, like I'd rather have a residency than a one-off that pays a ton of money. I'd rather build on something that's really cool.
Right.
And that's I think where the showcase came from. It hurt at first, and then it
Because you were
morphs
trying to
into
prove something.
Yeah, it takes a while.
Chicken. This is the harissa honey roasted chicken. Let's dive in. It's already cut for us, so I'm not cutting your piece.
Perfect. All right.
What's a personal habit that contributes to your daily success?
A personal habit? A personal habit would be I love to stay, and I think it's really important as far as the showcases are concerned, and for me, to stay on top of the industry in itself. So I try to read local articles, what's closing, what's not closing, where people are playing, who's playing where, and I do it every day. I think that's one thing that I for sure take almost an hour out every day, whether it be Facebook links or social media links or just the city pages in general or Star Tribune, local critics. I try to read, just get an hour's worth of what's going on locally.
What are you currently listening to?
Strangely enough, I'm trying to listen to a lot of mainstream pop to figure out why.
Okay.
And to get a little bit of ideas, and then a ton of local stuff.
So who is the mainstream pop?
I mean, honestly, I listened to the newest Taylor Swift. You know who Michaela Jensen is? It's Mick Sterling's daughter.
Yeah.
Anytime she recommends anything to me,
You do it.
Yeah, I creep on her on Facebook. She knows she's my friend, but because she's just my hip go-to gal for
what's in pop culture.
Yeah, and but she's so cool with everything. I mean, this is a gal that sings Leonard Cohen songs a cappella. She knows. She's just hip to everything. So she's my and I'm listening to a lot of her brother's stuff too. A lot of stuff that's incorporated into videos too, which is, you know, pretty cool. Like you said, it's
her brother.
Future is both. Tucker has a band called Dirt Train, and I've been loving their stuff, what they're doing live. But
Me
tons
too.
of local stuff. Thomas Aban, his former name was Tom Aiden, just so you can track him down. But Thomas Aban released an album that's just unbelievable. Everybody's local albums have been unbelievable. Lakewood Cemetery, this guy named Joe Copel. Oh, his new album. Some of these guys, and they're all in their young to mid 20s.
Yeah.
They're killing it.
Just killing it.
Yeah, killing it. It's unbelievable.
Aphrodisia? Are you pronouncing that right?
I'm not gonna lie to you. This is a huge first for. I'm in. I'm just saying. This would be first.
So this is the
Aphrodisia,
Deja.
tequila passion fruit,
Oh,
Damiana liqueur, agave nectar, fresh lime, and the salt around, or the rim is cayenne sugar.
oh, hey.
Of course it is.
So it's half. He said it's half cayenne, half sugar.
Half cayenne, half sugar. This is the Aphrodisia, and I think I'm pronouncing that right. You know, the foundation thing is tequila, and then this thing here, this little rim here, that's half sugar, half cayenne.
You going with a straw?
I'm gonna straw, then lick. It's the Aphrodisia. Yeah, I like the flavors. Tequila, kind of a citrusy flavor. That cayenne just, it'll choke you up every time. If you could recommend a book or a documentary, or both, what would it be and why?
Books are my favorite go-to, and I've read them 50,000 times. Is just go back to Shel Silverstein and read them all the way through. From Where the Sidewalk Ends and Light in the Attic.
Yep.
So, but just the meter and rhyme scheme of those it's always gotten me. And then I don't know, I'm back on Running Down a Dream. That's unbelievable. We lost Tom Petty, so.
Yeah.
I watched Amy, about Amy Winehouse. That was pretty phenomenal.
That was a great documentary. There's so much you don't know about her struggle.
You dig deep on stuff. It's fun to dig deep on stuff and I always loved her work, but.
What fascinated me about that documentary is that how much of a singer-songwriter she really was, and how much she contributed to her career, which I think, I don't know if you feel the same way, but when you think about our pop music culture today, I just naturally assume that a lot of the writing is happening either as a co-writer basis, or that
she always felt very different. But when you make, especially young women, when you make them a whole persona and a desired, almost like a desired object, you just get this assumption that they're not. And that's a really important. Just being around so many songwriters lately, I've realized that some of the most amazing songwriters have been women, and that now the majority of some of that community is women, and they're pulling together and doing these shows. But yeah, with the Taylor Swift, like Taylor Swift writes a lot of her own stuff. I think that's so cool, so I listen.
Right.
I mean, that's something that draws me in, is finding out that these are their emotions they're writing. Not to say Nashville songwriters. Sorry, I have some cayenne pepper in my day. Not to say Nashville songwriters and that kind of stuff isn't super important either. I mean, I would love to write for other people, but I think it's really, I agree with what you're saying, where you get this assumption by the way they're presented by whatever record company or whatever, that this is a like an icon, not a songwriter. This is an act.
Right.
And then you dig deeper, and those documentaries help in the sense that you find out, well, no, this is
an artist.
This is an artist.
Do we have another cocktail?
That's it.
Oh.
Why, you want some?
No, I do not.
Disappointed.
This is good enough for me. This is a lot.
Yeah, I can see how people get messy during this.
Yes. Finally, tell us how we can connect with you.
Connect with me. Well, surprisingly, one thing that's stuck throughout the last 20 years is websites are still cool. They're still everybody should have a website. So that it's still lovesongforangrymen.com, and then that can direct you to every single thing. But the cool thing about Facebook and everything else is you just need keywords. So Minnesota Songwriter Showcase, that'll get you right where you need to be for if you want to connect to me about that, about any of the songwriter showcases, and Love Songs for Angry Men.
Nick, I appreciate you hanging out on another episode of Brews Eats with Badass Peeps. And to you, thank you for watching another episode. Cheers. We'll see you on another one.